Today we're looking at our part number RF12V-2-ASL. This is an RF remote control system. It operates on 12 volts DC, and it gives you two separate 12 volt outputs. We offer the same unit in a 24 volt version. It operates the same way, it's just 24 volts in and 24 volts out instead. When you purchase the unit, you're going to get a receiver and a transmitter. This is our standard transmitter. We also offer a waterproof transmitter. This is the same as the standard transmitter, but it has an internal gasket in it, so it's going to protect the transmitter if it gets caught outside in the rain or snow. It's not intended to be submerged, it's not that waterproof, but it will protect it against the elements if you're using it outside. We also offer a rechargeable transmitter. This also has the internal gasket like the waterproof transmitter does. The nice thing about this unit is when the battery dies, you just plug a USB connector into the bottom, plug that into a charger, and your battery charges back up. The other nice thing is the battery life on this unit is 9 times longer than our standard transmitters. With these, you're going to get about 45 minutes of operation, where this one, again, 9 times longer, and that's actually holding the button down and transmitting. So. We'll go through the connections real quick on this. Again, you have minus 12 volts and plus 12 volts. That's your input power. And then number 1 and number 2. Each one of those will give you a positive 12 volt output. The other connections, we have these 3 wires. Those are your auxiliary switch leads. So these will operate the unit, and we'll show that later. They'll operate it without needing the transmitter. So you can hook this up to a single pole double throw switch and still operate the unit without needing the remote control. There's also this little 3-pin white connector on the unit. That's for one of our long-range antennas. So this unit is going to give you about 100 feet of range in normal circumstances. The long-range antenna is going to extend that range to 500 feet. It also is nice if this is put inside a metal box, or it's placed somewhere that's not really conducive to receiving a good RF signal. You can use the long-range antenna, plug it in, and that runs can run away from the unit to a better area. That's our long-range antenna. Again, it plugs into that white connector. The nice thing, the long-range antenna is totally waterproof, so all of the electronics are potted inside. So if you wanted to mount this inside, put a hole in the side of your building and run this and mount it outside, it's just fine. It's totally waterproof. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is go through the programming process on this. I have, for demonstration purposes, we've got just a small 12 volt battery. This unit's actually rated to handle 30 amps at 12 volts, so typically it's going to be hooked up to a much larger battery. But for demonstration purposes, this will work fine. So the first thing we're going to do is connect our positive and negative connections. So we'll connect the negative to the minus 12 and the positive to the plus 12. And when I do that, you'll see the light next to the program button turns on for just a second. That just means that power is connected. So to program the unit, I'll press and hold the program button until the LED illuminates, and then I'm going to press one of the buttons one time. You'll see the LED blink when I do that. You wait a couple seconds, it'll rapidly blink and go out. And now the unit's programmed in what we call momentary mode. That means it's on as long as I hold the button down. When I let go, it turns off. You can also set this unit up to operate in latching mode. To operate in latching mode, again, I'll push the program button until that LED comes on, and then I'm going to push one of the buttons twice. And you'll see the light blink once and then blink rapidly. We'll wait a few seconds, it'll go out. And now, when I push the button, it turns on. I push it a second time, it turns it off. So we programmed the standard remote first. You'll see it doesn't work with the system now. Each time I press the program button, it erases the memory on the control. So you have to program all of your remote controls while it's in program mode if you want to have multiple remote controls on it. So we'll show the multiple remote control setup now. Again, I'm going to press and hold the program button, and then I'm going to press a button on each one of the 3 transmitters, and you'll see the light blinks each time I press one. We'll wait a couple seconds, the light will blink and go out, and now each one of the units is operating the receiver in momentary mode. Alright, we're going to hook up operation now. So the control is going to give you 12 volts out. You're going to have to run your grounds independently, so I'm going to connect the ground from my battery to each one of the ground wires on my lights. I'm just using a couple small 12 volt lights for demonstration. Really common application for this is for convertible tops, and actually at the end of the video we'll put a demonstration of that in. It's a really nice application. It's actually what the control was initially designed for. Okay, so now I'm going to take the number 1 and connect it to my yellow light. And we'll take the number 2 and we'll connect that to the red light. So the number 1 terminal is going to be operated by the down button on the transmitter. The number 1 terminal is on the up button, and that's just how the unit was designed. So you'll see now I have the unit programmed in momentary mode. I have everything hooked up. So now when I hit the down button, the yellow light comes on, which is hooked up to number 1. When I hit the up button, the red light comes on, which is hooked up to number 2. I'm going to set this up in latching mode so you can see that. Again, press and hold the program button. We're going to push a button twice on the transmitter. We'll wait for the program light to go out. And now I can turn on the red light. I can also turn on the yellow light. I push a second time and they go out. We're going to show how the auxiliary switch leads work now real quick. So with the auxiliary switch leads, the black wire is common. So the green wire is going to operate your number 1 output. So you see if I connect the black and green wire, the number 1 output comes on, the yellow light turns on, and the yellow light is going to operate number 2 output, so that'll turn my red light on. All of these items are readily available on our website, www.gammainc.com. Everything is made in the USA and in stock and ready to ship.
So today we're going to demonstrate the RF12V-2-ASL control on a convertible top function. This is a 1957 Chevy Bel Air that we recently restored, and we have the control mounted to the pump. So we removed the boot from the top, and I have the transmitter. So we installed the control in the trunk alongside the pump. So in the 1950s, 60s, early 70s convertibles, you needed 2 separate 12 volt outputs for the up and down function on the pump. So now we installed that. So if I push the up button, we raise the top. We press the down button, we lower the top. So what a nice feature of this control is it has auxiliary switch leads. So we again mounted the control in the trunk, but just with these small gauge, probably 18 gauge wires, you can run up to a switch on the dash and control the relays. And the nice thing is no power is required. It's simply a contact closure for the up or down function.